Hey everyone, welcome to Tent Talk, the Farmers Market podcast. This podcast is all about farmers markets. Whether you're a farmers market manager or a small farmer, food maker, or artisan selling at farmers markets, you have found just the right podcast.
I'm Kat Fields-White.
And I'm Bridget Myers. We're longtime farmers market managers, educators, and consultants. Today in this month's How-To series, we're talking about how to recap data and show off what you've accomplished in ways that will captivate your shoppers and supporters.
Today's episode of Tent Talk, the Farmers Market podcast, is supported by Farmers Market University, offering self-paced online market management courses for new market managers year-round and live market manager certification classes annually. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Gain the skills you need to manage a new market or improve your current market operations and reduce your stress. The next live online market manager certification course starts January 24th and runs for 14 weeks. Tent Talk listeners can save $25 on registration using the code FMPROS25. Farmers Market Pros 25. Take a giant step on the road to market management success and register today by clicking Farmers Market University on the resource page at farmersmarketpros.com.
All right, well, welcome back to Tent Talk, everybody. Welcome to 2025. I feel like we need a few little weeks to ease into the year, so
that's right.
Still welcoming people. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year again.
Happy New Year again and again.
And again and again and again, yes.
We're just easing in, and our, as usual, the beginning of the year is very consumed by conference planning and excitement, which is overflowing at the moment. We're so excited about the conference coming up.
Farmers Market conference planning is my life right now. 'Tis the season.
And we still have markets to run too, but
that too,
which are also very busy and lovely.
That's right.
So things are off on a good foot for the year, and really looking forward to the conference that's coming up. So make sure you get your room. Make sure you get your tickets.
For sure. Actually, as usual, in January, conference ticket sales are popping.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Because everyone's just coming up for air.
Holidays are over. People are making their 2025 plans, even though that Wednesday holiday kind of made that ramp up slowly, I think.
Oh, a holiday in the middle of the week is just the worst.
Yeah.
They should just cancel that when that happens. Move it to a different date, please.
But tickets rolling in every day. We keep seeing registrations come in. We've got a new attendee coordinator that's going to, give you updates on a regular basis, so you'll be hearing from her pretty regularly. I am noticing that the catamaran maybe being so beachy is making folks book extra days.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I highly recommend.
For sure.
I might be staying there, a little staycation, a couple extra days myself.
I think that's what's happening. I think a lot of our group is tacking on a vacation day or two onto their trip to San Diego, either before or after the conference. Yeah. Maybe they're having their family meet them afterwards, or, beforehand, and let their family go off to Legoland or what have you while they're in sessions. Do not, however, be on the beach during sessions and workshops. You're not going to want to miss this lineup. So I want to see you folks in the seats, but then on the beach on breaks.
That's a good reason to remember to pad your time a little before or after, so you can get your beach time, but then you can also be focused on the conference during conference time, because you're not going to want to miss all that great content.
You're not. And you're going to be making new camp friends at the conference. You won't want to miss your time with them.
That's right. So. And we do make time to do beachy things, meetups, and go to the PB, the Pacific Beach Market, and all those things. So you'll see the beach. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But we're really excited. The Catamaran's such a great place to be. And I'm just excited to see my Farmers Market Pros Intense Conference friends. So don't miss it. Don't make me sad by not being there.
I don't think they will.
This is my plea. I'm just kidding.
Seeing those numbers coming in, I don't think they're going to make you sad.
No, I'm so excited. No, I know a lot of people that are already on their way. So make sure you get your tickets, book your room, and we'll see you at the conference. All right. Well, speaking of data, sounds like you're collecting interesting data on how long people will be spending in San Diego.
Got to collect that data.
Look at that segue. I love it. So we're going to move on to our topic today in our How-To series, how to collect information about our markets and market businesses and get it out there in a way that connects with our shoppers.
Yeah, I've been loving all the social media posts and newsletters that have shared statistics about businesses, about markets in really interesting and eye-catching ways. I was a big fan of the Benny Blanco tortilla graphic. The little truck moved. It was colorful. It was awesome. We talked about it in the newsletter too. And, numbers really stick with people. It's why if you're writing a book, they suggest that your title be 5 Ways to Get Fit, or 10 ways to work at a farmer's market. I don't know. Maybe that'll be the title if I ever get around to that. But those kind of articles and books are so popular because numbers catch people. It really lets them focus.
People love data.
They do.
Even people who don't think that they're data people, they love it.
They do.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's just a natural thing that we do. So we're going to talk about things that you can share as market managers, or if you have a business that's in a farmer's market, share the data with your customers. So what are like some specific kinds of info to share?
So I saw Apricot Lane Farm posted a thing that said 83,597 eggs collected with a picture of a chicken and some eggs. I mean, come on. Who doesn't want to know that?
Busy chickens.
Busy chickens. True. MIFMA, the Michigan Farmers Market Association, they posted some graphics about 2.8 million customers visited in 2024, and the average spend was $24.27. I think making those numbers really precise also catches people's eyes more. It's like, it looks like maybe you're just guessing if you say 3,000, but if you say 3,022,
yeah,
people pay attention. Or even if it's smaller numbers, the Binghamton Farmers Market, which is kind of a smaller market, they noted that they posted a little thing with some music graphics and said they hosted 15 musicians in 2024.
I love that. So you can really say anything, like pick something that's just special about your market, and you can use that as some kind of data point. Anything that you can look back and find the data for, or that you track really precisely. I mean, we track lots of numbers at the market, even if we're not out there doing some kind of specific collection for something like this. I'm sure you have numbers of something somewhere.
Yeah.
Vendor count.
Right. Or you can spend 15 to 30 minutes and dig it up.
Exactly. Yeah. People love it.
So people like to look behind the curtain.
Yeah.
And see what's really happening.
Yeah.
Let's just make sure they're not discovering the Wizard of Oz back there, because he's a bad dude.
Don't show them everything.
That's right. Make sure that there's good things going on behind your curtain.
Yeah. So like a good thing can be like it kind of makes the economic impact that you're creating more obvious and easier to understand, because as we know, folks don't really get how farmers markets work and where's the money going and who am I spending with and what is it spent on. So you can say we helped local farmers make $1.76 million in sales, or our market's contribution to our business district let them hang 32 flower pots on our corners and supply 1,085 plastic bags to keep dog messes off the sidewalk.
Right?
Which is where the money from my market mostly goes.
Exactly.
Millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars.
But bags.
But you're doing it. You're making that impact. It can let people know how hard you work. So Christopher Hudson at Benny Blanco shared that he made 675,300 tortillas.
Which
last
is like
year.
nutso.
That's so many tortillas. But he also pointed out that when you're doing that, you want to talk about how hard you work. So he talked about how many tortillas he made versus saying, I took in this many thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Because this many thousands of dollars, customers have a tendency to go, oh, he's rich.
Yes.
And he pointed out to me he is not rich. But 675,000 tortillas, that makes them think, that dude's working hard. I need to go buy his tortillas.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually, because sometimes it's when I want to kind of explain like, oh, we generated this much income for the neighborhood, or our farmers' sales numbers. Our farmers make a lot of sales, but there's already kind of this stigma about farmers markets being like overpriced and so expensive. So I'm a little wary of posting that data. But if you word it in that way, like they brought this many pounds of tomatoes to the market, or they popped their tent this many times or something like that, I'm going to say, Tristan did this many squats marking the street, and it's 1 billion every year.
That's right.
She should do a little workout class in the morning marking the street.
That's
right.
right.
Something about working hard.
Side hustle. Yeah, so using numbers is really important. It doesn't have to be sales numbers, especially in a quick snapshot. That kind of thing, when you're talking dollar amounts, doesn't always tell the whole story, so it might not get the message that you want across. So sticking to numbers, quantifiable things that aren't necessarily dollars, might be more effective in some situations.
Yeah, and just make sure, maybe test it on a couple people and say, hey, when I say this kind of number and explain this data, what does it make you feel?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, because I could say, we worked really hard. We towed 585 cars. But I don't think the public is going to, that's a negative thing. The public's not going to react to that very well. So pick something that is shows how hard you're working and has a really positive reflection on the work that you're doing, that all of your farmers and vendors are doing, a positive reflection on the shoppers and how hard they worked to come to the market and really support everybody there and the benefit that they got from shopping at the market.
Yeah, I think talking about the number of shoppers is really good. And I do think that the information should mostly be positive, but it might not hurt to share some sobering info in that way. So how many plants did you lose to deer? That could be stated in a way that's funny, the cute picture of a deer with its mouth full of broccoli. But could also let people know how hard it is to farm.
Yeah.
So that might not be a bad thing to share. Or how many tents or pairs of shoes were lost to rain days. That can kind of explain how dedicated you are about being there consistently for your shoppers.
Yeah, if you follow the Little Italy Mercado Instagram, our social media manager, Caitlin, just did a nice thank you at the end of the year, and she put a little data in there, and she said, I forget what the number was, but 187.5 markets. If you know, you know. And she was referring to the market that we opened and had to close because of the torrential rain and flood and wind. And it was a horrible, horrible day. But now we can laugh about it.
I knew what you meant, but you're right. Most people wouldn't know, but those of us who knew.
Exactly. So that's sharing some data that, also it was really positive. We had so many markets this year, but also that 0.5, that was a horrible day that happened this year. But we moved past it, and it was that 0.5. We were out there for that half a day. So just sharing something like that at the end of the year to kind of reflect on positive or negative things that happened during the year, because it really explains the whole picture of this job.
Exactly. So they're really understanding everything you have to put up with. I think throwing a couple of personal things into the mix can also create stronger connections. So how many babies did you have born to vendors in 2024? So many.
Oh, we had so many at the Mercado. So many. It was a baby boom.
Yeah.
Lots of farmers and vendors had babies, which was so cute. I love them so much.
I know.
I'm a big baby person, so I know now my vendors, like when they say, Happy New Year, or I need this day off, or substitute vendors that say, can I have a spot this week? And then they just have a little baby picture that they attach to their email.
I swear, I think most of our vendors called you like third after they called their parents to tell them that the baby had arrived.
I did tell one of our new vendors who's about to have a baby. I go, oh my gosh. He's like, I might not come next week because I might be in labor. Like, how does that work? Like, how do I let you know? And I go, well, as soon as your wife's in labor, I want that phone call. Call me at midnight. She's in labor. We'll stay on the phone. You let me know. You want to come to the market? I just need to know step by step. Like, call me every hour. And I was just completely joking around, but he didn't know me very well.
Was he a little scared?
He was terrified. He's like, what is this market?
Wow.
This market business is
market manager / stalker. Woo.
I'm a micromanager.
That's right.
No,
especially
but I
when
said
it comes to micro baby vendors.
Micro babies. Oh,
so cute.
Yeah, but I, just said, you know what? If you don't show up next Wednesday, I'll just deduce that you're at the hospital having a baby. So it's fine.
It's fine.
That's the only excuse that anyone can have for missing a market. But yes, lots
fun.
of babies. That's a great personal thing too. I did share some photos of babies that were born. I asked the farmers and vendors, of course, and said, can we share this in our Instagram stories throughout the year and say, oh, this vendor had a baby.
Yeah, so I think personal things can be quantified and tossed in there. It'll make people feel like part of the market family. 3 market romances and 1 wedding. Or the Little League team we sponsored won 12 games.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Like little teams that you sponsored or other businesses that you sponsored. So yeah, just throwing in some fun, like really personal things to you or to the neighborhood and the market.
Yeah. And then, of course, again, the serious ones, hidden impacts, how many jobs you created, how many people you helped with food security.
Yep.
It's great to talk about how many market script or market tokens you doubled, how many businesses you launched into the world, how many families supported themselves with their market business.
Yeah, it'd be fun to say how many, market businesses opened a shop in the neighborhood. I know a lot of our farmers market businesses end up opening shops up in our very own neighborhoods that they, occupy a brick and mortar space. And many of them, I want to say all of them, are still in the market.
Yeah.
So they're still in the market, but they have a shop around the corner that you can go see, 5 days a week and see them at the market the other 2. So there's a lot of
huge economic impact reporting.
Yes.
Yep.
And you can tag your local, mayor or council person in these posts so that they see that the impact of your market is really significant and important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do we get these numbers to post?
Well, if you're a farmer or vendor and you're using Square or some kind of POS system that makes it easy to track your numbers of transactions and your total sales, you can use that because it translates really easily. It's all there for you. You just hit a report, and it prints it out and and you have that information. So that's easy to do. Maybe your bookkeeping system will let you know how much you spent on flour if you're a baker or seeds if you're a farmer.
Yeah, those are all helpful numbers. So I'm going to say that I have seen people sort of scramble at the end of the year to search out and accumulate these numbers. But maybe since we're talking about this in January, start keeping a little list now of interesting numbers that come up when you're doing your monthly report or your daily log of how many sales that you made.
Yeah. I mean, it's easier to start in the beginning of the year and go, month to month than try to take the time to dig stuff up at the end of the year. So
yeah, for sure. If you're a market manager, you're probably periodically counting the number of people who attend the market. That's always a good one to track. And we talked last week about keeping a market manager's log so you can report on how many sunny days you had or your average number of vendors on site. That'll be really easy to accumulate and post.
Yep, definitely use that log for data collection as well. Markets that charge percentage rent will have mostly accurate info about sales.
Mostly.
No comment. But yeah, so you'll have, information about sales. We collect load lists if you're in California or other states that do that. So we have data on sales for our farmers, which is really like such important sales data to share with everyone. So you can use any kind of sales collection data that you have and share that. Others do surveys, those comes in lots of different forms, and that, in casual surveys, let us report like estimated market sales.
Right.
So you can kind of survey your vendors and just ask them to kind of offer up information about their sales at the end of the year and then kind of put that in a data collection format so you can share that with your followers.
Right. I mean, we are talking here about sort of casual information sharing and statistics. We're not talking about the numbers that you need to put on a grant application.
Yeah.
So you can estimate. I mean, do we really know if Christopher Hudson made exactly 675,302 tortillas? We don't. And I'll bet he doesn't either.
I don't know. I think he's in there with a little hash mark on he's like on the wall. Like
he is pretty precise. Okay. Yeah. He and Maya's cookies, they probably know exactly how many they made. But some of this can be estimated. And when you're stating it, especially if you're stating, say, a money amount or something that people might take seriously, you probably do want to qualify it a little bit if you don't have an exact number. So, more than 27,500 visitors came to us.
Oh, yeah.
So you can use those little qualifying terms, more than, at least, approximately, if you're feeling uncomfortable about putting out numbers that you don't know the exact tally of.
Yeah, but you have a ballpark at least,
right,
just because you're doing this job, so you're keeping tabs of something.
Right, you want to be close.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So to get more data, you can also do monthly, quarterly, annual surveys of your vendors. We won't talk too much about that today because we have had whole episodes, I think, on doing vendor surveys, but you can use in-person, either team members or volunteers with a few questions for shoppers, like, what did you spend today? What do you typically buy at the market? And maybe give them a multiple choice, vegetables, bread, oat milk. What are you getting here? And then what's your zip code? So that you've got a good number to report on how many of your shoppers are really local to your market or coming from distances.
Yeah. I think keeping surveys short and focused will increase response, as we've said. So just a handful of questions that are fun to answer. If you're surveying your vendors, letting them know why you're collecting that info, they can get a little nervous. Like, are you asking me my sales so you can raise my rent? You want to say, no, this is just for marketing, for grant applications, to get support from your city or neighboring businesses. And that makes them feel a little more willing to participate and provide info.
Yeah, I think so too. And sometimes anonymous surveys can be a little more productive than those that require them to actually claim a certain sales number.
Yeah, exactly. And I would say don't be afraid of anonymous surveys. I think sometimes we're like, oh, everyone's going to write some nasty note to me about it. I've done anonymous surveys and it's always just everyone.
It's fine.
They'll like sign their name sometimes.
Yeah.
They don't get it, but it's, they're just giving you the data that you need to have for this marketing purposes or to, make the market better.
Yeah.
Like we need that data to make the market better.
Exactly.
So they need to provide it to us. So,
well, and over time, I think your vendors get to trust you and know that pretty much everything you're doing, I think our vendors know by now, if they've been with us for any length of time, that everything we do, the goal is to increase their sales.
Yeah, exactly.
That really is what we're after.
Yes. And we're not even percentage market. So it's like, I think once you build that trust with your vendors, they know that your job is to make the market busy so that the vendors and farmers will stay and have a good time and be successful. So the more that we can have this like partnership relationship regarding data or any kind of information that they're going to share with us, the better. And you get to that point with your market family.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So then once you've got some numbers, then it's how to present it that'll make it fun and attractive. I mean, you can just say number of shoppers served, and then put some more explanation in the caption. And that's fine. It's probably better than not offering up any numbers. But if you can make it a little zazzed up. What do you say? Zhuzhed up.
A little zhuzhed.
A little zhuzhed.
Well, now I'm going to say zazzed because I feel like you just made that. I've never heard that before. 2025, word of the year.
Word of the year.
Zazzed.
My Riz is zazzed.
Oh, no, you can't say Riz.
Oh, no?
Oh,
Is that
my
over?
gosh. Do not let my teenager listen to this podcast.
That's over, huh?
I'm going to tell him Grandma said Riz. No, it's not over. The kids use it, and
Oh, in specific ways.
it means charisma or something of the sort.
Somebody that's on fleek.
We don't say fleek anymore.
Okay.
Okay, we'll stop trying to be cool. But if you are cool, you can use the cool word. This is why you need like a younger social media. I mean,
Right.
Caitlin knows all the words. But yeah, you can just say something that explains, what kind of data you're trying to convey and just make it kind of fancy.
That's right. Make
Yeah.
it fun.
Mhm.
So it's pretty easy, even for somebody that's not super graphically inclined, to make a carousel. I mean, you can use Canva or something like that, but you can also just, in Instagram itself, put a picture in your story section, lay some words over that, take a screenshot, and then go ahead and post it in your feed.
Yes.
And that's really easy.
Pretty easy to do.
I mean, I'm not going to tell you who knows that or why I know that. That's what I know how to do. But if you want to make even more fun graphics, if you've got a handle on Canva or Adobe Express or somebody on your team that does, if you have a marketing-oriented team member or a secretly aspiring to be a designer on your staff, you can kick things up a notch.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and, we're farmers market people, so it doesn't have to be too fancy or polished. I think folks appreciate that. Put 5 tomatoes on a table and say, we had 500 pounds of tomatoes, something catchy like that. So make it fun, make it easy to understand.
Yeah.
Don't make it too complicated.
Exactly.
I would say don't get into like super nitty gritty, like a page of text.
No, I wouldn't explain it. I think the whole point of this is taking numbers, which tells a story, and just putting them out there, letting them tell the story without going into really long explanations. You can go into long explanations when you're doing your annual report, but right now you just want to catch people's eyes and tell them what kind of impact you're having.
Exactly. And so you can use this on social media, but you can also put them in your email newsletter, which I strongly recommend. It's such a great way to get this information directly to your shoppers and people that, appreciate and love your market. You can just print out a little sign and hang it in your info booth.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Or, go full on analog, print some flyers. You can use a chalkboard that says, we sold 500 pounds of tomatoes. Or no, make it more precise. We sold 506 pounds of tomatoes this month.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, there's lots of different ways to get this data. You know best how your community and shoppers receive information from your market. So just feed that into that channel.
Yep. I would think that in addition to doing multiple platforms, I'd do this at multiple times of year. Like we always see them pop up for end of year recaps, but think how much more fun it would be to do it more frequently. So you could do it monthly or quarterly when you talk about your sales, your visitor numbers, the distance people travel, rainy days, how many new vendors you had. All of those things you could do once a month or once a quarter, certainly.
Rainy days.
Okay, let's hope there's not a number every month for rainy days.
0. We can have one of those charts like this many days since we had a rainy market.
Right?
Yeah, but I think that makes way more sense. That's a lot easier to digest, like monthly kind of recaps. And if you're looking for content, which I know we all are desperately always just like, what kind of content are we putting out there? This is a good regular thing that can happen. So every 4th Saturday of the month, you post your data post.
Yeah.
And it gives you something to send out to your people who follow you on social media or to put in your newsletter. So every 4th newsletter of the month, you're going to pop in a little data point when you have it collected from the market. So make it easy for yourself. You can lay out a full calendar year of data content and then just pop those numbers in as you get them.
Oh my gosh, this planning a year ahead is going to become a trend.
I'm telling you, we are new people right now.
You could make this a themed thing. So during tomato season, you could we're talking a lot about tomatoes in this episode. It's because it's January, right? I'm really craving the deep tomato offerings.
I need a summer tomato right now.
Right now, right this minute. Anyway, during tomato season, you could do a catchy graphic or a carousel that talks about how many tomato varieties are at the market. How many ingredients in a perfect tomato sandwich? And there's 4, by the way, 5 if you count the bread.
What is it? Tell us your famous tomato sandwich.
It's bread, preferably like a country white. I think we have a farmer that makes that. It's perfectly sliced tomatoes.
Nice and thick.
Mayonnaise, Salt and pepper. That's all you need.
That's it.
Yeah, 5 ingredients in a perfect tomato sandwich. I know that those folks, like at Travelers Rest in South Carolina, that run the contest for tomato sandwiches, we're going to get feedback here. We're going to
They're going to say,
wait
listen
for
up,
the
ladies.
comments. Listen, pimento cheese goes on that sandwich, or, mustard. Does anybody do that with tomatoes?
What are they doing? Greens? I don't know.
Maybe.
I'll eat tomatoes with anything. So.
Anyway, it's your data. It's your carousel. You can decide. you name that number yourself, or add how many hours it takes to harvest one farmer's market table worth of tomatoes.
That would be really helpful data for people to understand.
Yeah.
Especially folks that, again, think that farmer's market, prices are higher than the grocery store or can't buy in bulk or whatever. It's tell them how much labor and love and water and harvesting time. And
how much water? That's a good one.
Yeah, goes into each table of produce that's at the farmer's market.
Yeah. I think themed number data stuff, that could be a thing.
Yep.
You could do graphics with numbers that talk about your goals.
Yep.
So farmers and vendors, you could post your sales and how much more you need to hit this month's goals.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, you're going to do like a little thermometer that fills up. People love to help others achieve a goal.
Right.
Think of like your kids' like jogathon at your school. It's
Exactly.
like everyone just wants, no matter what it is, they just want to fill that thermometer up.
That's
it's
right.
Like you could put any number on there. So yeah, give people something to, be hopeful for and to help contribute to.
Yeah. How many staff positions you have to be filled.
Oh boy.
How many supporting sponsors if you're a market manager, and how many slots are still available for that?
I think that's really smart, just because then it feels like a little sense of urgency, like, ooh, you better get a spot before it's full. And then you can really, as an operator that has a budget to plan, you can say, okay, I really need to fill all these sponsor slots to fit my budget for this month. And kind of getting that information out there, or how many members of your Friends of the Market program or something that you need to get. It's like, those public radio fundraisers. It's like, you need this many more. So, put that data out there so folks know that you do have a goal and it's not just this like made up obligatory number that you're just pulling out of thin air. You have a goal that you need to reach and they can help reach it. And here's the data to back that up.
Yeah, I love it. I think that would catch people's eyes.
Yep.
You can do kind of cooperative number type posts. So post how many donations that community groups have generated at the market and how many more they need. Move into that goal area, and a lot of that works. Or report on how many pounds of compost just local groups collected at the market.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Collection stuff, if you have gleaning folks or food waste collection that comes in, organic waste collection, all that kind of stuff, just kind of put those numbers out there because people like to see what is going on at the market behind the scenes. That's right. More stuff that they're not really going to know unless you tell them. So giving them that information, I think, can really be helpful for them.
How many boxes we recycled?
Oh, yeah, right? There you go. 1 million again.
That's right.
Or reuse. We reuse them.
Yeah, we reuse them. But I think some of the farmers recycle. I remember at my very first market going behind the booths and taking pictures of empty boxes. And I was so proud that there were so many.
Oh, that's a nice thing to do just on a regular basis. Or if you're feeling just a little, you're having an off day, just look at all those. I like to look at, not that I want empty tables very early in the market, but that at the end of the day, it's nice to see folks that have cleared their tables.
How many sold out signs do we have?
Yeah. How many scones did they sell?
Yeah.
Can't believe it. Yeah, so get that data out there. People love information that's quantified, and sharing what it takes to manage your market or your market business lets your shoppers know a little more about who you are and what you do. Relationships are at the heart of farmers markets. Other than how much better produce tastes when it's fresh, they're the biggest reason that folks keep coming back. So share your story, listen to theirs, and get ready to grow.
Thanks for listening today. And big thanks to Farmers Market University for helping market managers gain the skills they need to manage a new market or improve their current markets. Use the code FMPROS25, we'll put that in the show notes, and save $25 when you register now for the live online Market Manager Certification course starting January 24th by clicking Farmers Market University on the resource page at farmersmarketpros.com.
Please leave us a review on your podcast app or wherever you listen to Tent Talk. Let us and others know how you're enjoying the podcast. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode of Tent Talk. Connect with fellow Farmers Market folks in our private Facebook group, the Farmers Market Pros Community, and follow us on Instagram at Farmers Market Pros. Find online education and other resources at farmersmarketpros.com. Tent Talk is brought to you by Farmers Market Pros, where passion meets profit. Tent Talk is hosted by Kat Fields White and Bridget Myers and produced by Leandra Hayes, with original music by David Mead. Tune in next week for another great episode.